in our module 1, we talked about the morning ritual, and this is just kind of like the continuation of module 1. We're going to talk about personality profiles, values, goal setting, defining your definite purpose, and the power of the why. Have any of you done your DISC assessment before?
I have.
Yeah.
Okay, so this will probably look very familiar to you guys. I'm just going to talk about it real briefly. But one of the things to understand is we need to understand what our strengths are, how we're wired, and then we need to be able to relate that to our other team members, and we need to be able to relate that to our clients. So as you can see, my DISC is I'm a DI. I'm going to lead with the drive, and then secondary is influence. The D is the driver. It's the push, go, go, go. I'm going to make some things happen, and I may leave a few bodies in my way. The D's greatest fear is loss of time and loss of money, being taken advantage of. The I is the influencer. They're the life of the party. That's your friend that shows up, and they're like, "Hey, what's going on?" And they will want to hug you, and they drive a bright yellow car, and they're flashy. So the I is the influencer, and their greatest fear is rejection. Now, S is stable, steady, copacetic. The S's are the relational people. They'll have more pictures of their friends than of themselves. The S could be a glue to a friend network, but not necessarily the person in the front. The S's greatest fear is change. C stands for the cautious conservative, the analytical. These are our engineers, our accountants, our detail people. The C's greatest fear is to be incorrect. So when we're looking at a DISC assessment, things that are above that middle line, that's what's called the 50% line, or what are considered to be the dominant traits. And other things that are below it are considered to be the non-dominant traits. That's my DISC. Jeremy, have you done yours?
Yeah, I believe I'm a high I and high C.
So you're an IC. So in other words, you're going to lead with your influence, and then you're going to work for some detail. Now the question then is, as we're working with our buyers, as we're working with our sellers, as we're working with our team members, how do you have to adapt that personality to work with someone who isn't as detailed or who isn't as friendly?
You asked me how I adapt to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you listen to their tone of voice, how quickly they respond to you, how much information they give you up front, and then you can kind of alter the call based on that and how you feel you perceive them and they perceive you.
Awesome. Hey, Heidi, have you done a DISC assessment yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so there's part of your homework. You need to go do the DISC. Rodolfo, what's happening?
How you doing?
We're doing good, sir. Hey, Rodolfo,
Hey,
what's your
Who's
DISC?
that good-looking guy that came on the call here?
Oh, no. My days, I'm a DI.
Okay. So Rodolfo is also a driver and an influencer. Rinaldi, or not Rinaldi. Holy cow, that's another friend. Ryland, what's your DISC?
Wait. Rinaldi?
Yes, I know a gentleman named Rinaldi, and I was just looking. Yeah, ignore me. What's your DISC?
Awesome. I'm a high D, mildly high C.
Okay.
So I'm in that Gary Keller type of personality a little bit.
So for everyone on the call, how do you deal with the DC? Let's talk about that real briefly.
I'll tell you how to deal with the DC, right? If you ask my team, they'll tell you that I am kind of like two people, right? So it's like you have to know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
So kind of the joke on our team is that they call me the Terminator and Dr. Spock. So sometimes and I'm sure you notice this, Anton, when you talk to me. Sometimes it's like you're talking to Dr. Spock, right? I'm drawing on the board, and I've got all these systems and all these details, blah blah blah, right? And you go on and on and on forever without getting anywhere. And then if you just snap your finger and be like, hey, right? Let's get stuff done. And then you see the Terminator come in and be like, okay, let's go, let's get this. So they're kind of contradictions.
So the DC is polar opposites. That's one of the profiles that will pull at itself from both sides. They want to drive and they want to be correct. And so it's hard to push to get something done and to do it perfectly. So that's what Ryland is talking about there. Jeff, what's your DISC assessment?
High C and high S.
Yep, high C, high S. And then also on Jeff's, because we just did Jeff's ABA, he's a medium assertive. So you'll have people who could be an SNC who could also still be assertive in other areas, like our main admin, Rochelle. She's on her ABA, she's a 9 asterisk. On the DISC, she's just an SC. So we just need to understand how these work, and so that we can understand ourselves, so that we can properly communicate with our buyers.
Hey, just real quick, I got another little tip to how to work with a DC personality, right? If you want the D to come out, you just hand them, go buy them a Red Bull or something like that.
Yeah.
I drink one of those suckers, and it's amazing. That D is like, that C is completely gone. It's, when my hand is a little fidgety there, and it's like, okay, we want to close right now. Like, let's get to the point. Let's close. Otherwise, you'll be wandering in the wilderness for a while. So, just a little tip.
Yeah, and also other little tips. When you're working with a D, get straight to the point. Bottom line them, and don't let them feel like they're being taken advantage of. When you're working with that I profile, make them feel loved and influenced, and that they're a part of it, And they may require a little extra hand-holding or a hug once in a while. Now, with that S, make them feel secure. So the S and the C out of these 4 profiles those are the ones that will slow down the most during a buyer transaction or even a seller transaction. And the S just wants to feel secure, and the C wants details. So you've got to provide security for that S, and you've got to provide details for that C. Another personality assessment that we go through on our team is we go through Strength Finders. I know that you've done this too, Ryland. It just kind of helps you to figure out what you are really good at. So my top 5 strengths are competition, activator, futuristic, maximizer, and achiever. And when you go through the Strength Finder, one of the things that it'll talk about inside of there is other people you should be pairing yourself with. So for instance, I know that I should be paired with a strategist. And I know that Jeff, he's one of our team members who's on this with us. He's a strategist. He's a systems guy. He's a solver. What are your thoughts, Ryland?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I look for the IS personalities. My I is very low and my S is pretty low, so it's I'm pretty extreme on the personalities. So I work really well with the ISs. Very complementary. It works really well together as a team.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's another assessment out there, Stand Out by Marcus Buckingham. This is another phenomenal way for you to get to know who you are, for you to get to know who your other team members are. P.S. I mean, you could give a client a DISC if you wanted to really understand them. Heidi, you're new. Are you ready to give your client a DISC?
It'd probably be a good plan.
Well, it's one of those things where, like, the more you understand about who these people are, the better we're going to be able to help them.